If you've ever wanted to attend a concert, show, or a music festival, but weren't quite sure which one is for you, stick around. There's some good information in this video. Roll the intro.
Hit the tempo. All my people struggling, we about to take control. The rhythm, the vibe, that's when you know it's time to get right. Hit the tempo. All my people struggling, we about to take control. The rhythm, the vibe, that's when you know it's time to get right. Hit the tempo. Just do what you do, what you do, what you do, what you do. Hit the tempo. That's what's for you, it's for you, it's for you, it's for you.
What's going on, you guys? My name is Peyton Burlesford. Welcome to my channel where I'll be discussing all things live music events, giving you the tips and tricks to make the most out of your experiences. Now, this is my first time posting to YouTube under this channel, so if you're here, I genuinely thank you for being a first-time watcher. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Hold on. Hello, say name, welcome to my channel. Oh yeah, like and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. I knew I was forgetting something. So, because this is my first video, I wanted to share just a little bit about myself. I'm a 30-year-old concert and festival goer currently based in Denver, Colorado, with a little over 12 years of experience going to live music events. I really got my start during my freshman year of college while attending the University of Miami, go Canes, where I also attended my first real music festival, Ultra Music Festival, in 2014. Since then, I've been to dozens of fests and hundreds of live music events, so I think I'm relatively qualified to talk about this topic. Over the years, I've been lucky enough to experience virtually every type of live music event that there is, seeing what makes them each similar and different from one another. So as I mentioned at the front of the video, we're going to be talking about the different types of live music events that you can attend, defining each of them, talking about their similarities and differences, and understanding which type of event is suited for which type of person. For the first type of live music event that we're going to be covering, we're going to talk about concerts. Now, the dictionary defines concerts as... Hold on, let me grab my phone for this. A musical performance given in public, typically by several performers or of several separate compositions. So for all intents and purposes, anytime you're hearing live music in public, it's a concert. So yeah, this concert is really just one big umbrella term that can be used to describe pretty much everything else that we're going to be talking about in this video today. However, colloquially, that's a fun word to say, colloquially, those of us who go to a lot of concerts and shows know that there is a slightly narrower definition of the word concert. Now, the reason I say this is for those like myself who attend a lot of music festivals or are also in the EDM or rave scene, we've all had a moment with our mothers that goes a little bit something like this. Hey, what's the name of that big concert you're going to again? EDC Las Vegas, Mom. Yeah, that's it, the concert. Mom, EDC Vegas isn't a concert, it's a music festival. Oh, whatever, you're gonna go in the desert and party with your friends. Yeah. Okay, despite the stupidity of that, the whole point is that there is a clear distinction between events like music festivals and even raves or EDM shows that have a little bit more production going to them than a simple concert might have. So it's for that reason, because of that distinction, that typically when I am talking about a concert, I am specifically talking about an event where music is being performed with actual live instruments. With the rise of genres like house, techno, and EDM, which have less of an emphasis on incorporating musical instruments or live vocals into the performance and more of an emphasis on production, as well as production just increasing across the board at events like arena and stadium shows, it becomes harder and harder to call those types of events concerts as opposed to a more traditional event where live music is being performed with either instruments or vocalists. So if you're a musical purist and you really want to prioritize hearing live instruments or live vocals during a performance, then you will most likely find yourself seeking out and attending predominantly concerts. Now to the second type of events, shows. Alright, when talking about concerts and shows, I'm not trying to split hairs here. Alright, I'll be honest, I'm trying to split hairs a little bit. However, I think the thing that really differentiates concerts from shows is the level of production value that's involved with the event. I feel like the transition from concert to show likely happened somewhere in the late 70s, early 80s as rock and metal hair bands started introducing pyrotechnics and fireworks into their shows. But you can also see the transition happen at things like Daft Punk's Coachella performance in 2006 when they revealed the pyramid for the first time, which really changed the entire trajectory of where EDM shows and music festivals would go in general with production, but that's a video for an entirely different day. Now when you go to a show, whether it be at a club or a concert hall, an arena, or a stadium, you can expect to see things like large lighting arrays, lasers, pyrotechnics, CO2 cannons, fire cannons, water cannons, video boards, confetti cannons. The list goes on. There's so many possibilities these days when it comes to a show, it's really gotten crazy. For me, it's all of those extra bells and whistles that really separates a show from a concert these days. If you're somebody who prefers spectacle or really likes to be wowed when you go to an event, then most modern shows are going to be right up your alley. But if you're somebody who prefers a focus on the music or simply a more intimate experience, then concerts are going to be much more your thing. Now, if you're like me, and somehow the spectacle of shows still aren't enough, then strap in. You're going to a music festival. Okay, so take a bunch of concerts, take a bunch of shows, increase the scale, increase the production value, and you've got yourself a music festival, aka one of my favorite things, nay, my favorite thing in the world. Now, a typical concert or a show these days can run you anywhere from $30 to $100 to even somewhere in the ballpark of over $150. Looking at you, Skrillex at Red Rocks. A typical festival ticket these days is going to run you somewhere between $300 and $600. So when you compare that to the cost of seeing a single artist at a single show or concert for $50 to $100, to seeing anywhere from 6 to 12 artists in a single day at a music festival for $300 to $600, if you're a frugal or bang for your buck kind of person, music festivals are for you. Now, there are several different types of music festivals, and not every type of festival is for every type of person, so let's break those down a little bit. First, you have your single-day festivals, and you have your multi-day festivals. If you're somebody who really doesn't have the energy or the stamina to survive multiple days of a music festival, which frankly is most of us over the age of 30, myself included, then going to a single-day festival is a great way to get a taste of a music festival, see a lot of artists, but still be able to make it home for the rest of the weekend. Now, if you're somebody like me who's got lots of energy and doesn't ever want the music to stop, then a multi-day festival is going to be for you. Most multi-day festivals will last for 2 to 3 days, but it's not uncommon to see some go for 4, 5, or even up to 7 days. So endurance is really the name of the game here. So breaking down the types even further, you also have city festivals and camping festivals. City festivals are typically held in a major metropolitan area where you commute to and from the venue each day rather than staying on the actual grounds of the venue itself. Camping festivals are typically held in a more remote location, whether it be the middle of the desert, like Burning Man, or the middle of the woods, like Electric Forest. Like the name implies, attendees will typically camp on the actual grounds of the venue where the festival is being held rather than commuting back and forth like you would for a city festival. This gives you significantly more time to experience the festival as well as just hang out with your friends that you go with. Now, because it's a camping festival, you will most likely be sleeping in a tent for multiple days, as opposed to a city festival where you would be staying in a hotel or potentially the comfort of your own home if it's located in your own city. Camping festivals are not for the lighthearted. You gotta be comfortable with getting dirty and stinky. But if you do have an adventurous spirit, camping festivals are the easiest way to maximize the amount of music, spectacle, and fun that you can get in a weekend at a live music event. Hi there, future me. Sorry for the interruption to the main flow of the video. I got all the way through shooting, most of the way done editing, and realized that I completely forgot to talk about one of the most important types of live events if you are in the house, techno, and EDM scene, which is underground raves. Now, if you are a part of the dance music scene, then you know that the term rave gets tossed around relatively loosely these days compared to what it originally meant when raving first became a thing in the late 80s and early 90s. Due to the inherent connection of genres like house and techno originally being performed at events like underground raves, many people who participate in the dance music community today still refer to themselves as ravers, myself often included. While they may have evolved from their original form, underground raves do still exist today, which is why I think it's important to make the distinction between an actual underground rave and a modern-day mainstream house, techno, or EDM show. Now, one of the main differences between an underground rave and a show is the fact that an underground rave is typically held in a non-traditional venue. What I mean by non-traditional venue is a venue that is not actually intended to host live music events. The second key distinction between a traditional concert or show and an underground rave is the fact that an underground rave is typically produced by a community organization rather than an actual production company. And in this case, I am using the term community organization rather loosely, but we'll get to that. And the third key distinction is that the location of an underground rave is usually kept secret until the actual night of the event, usually just hours before. Why? Because underground raves are typically illegal. Now, if you're reading between the lines, what I really meant when I said community organizations throwing events in non-traditional venues is that renegade groups of DJs, producers, music enthusiasts, dancers, etc. are throwing parties in locations where they're really not supposed to be. On the more illegal end of the spectrum, you have events that are trespassing on abandoned properties like warehouses, shopping malls, parking garages, old barns, or even just open fields on somebody else's property. On the less illegal but still very much illegal end of the spectrum, you have events that might be held at a non-traditional venue with the owner's permission, but against things like building codes or fire marshal regulations. And it's these reasons which actually create distinction number 2, the event being held in a secret location. Because more often than not, once the cops find out about the event, it gets busted. It has to be said unequivocally though, that an event doesn't have to be illegal in order for it to be considered an underground rave. In my personal opinion, if a community organization or a renegade group of music enthusiasts is producing an event, regardless of whether it's in a non-traditional location, regardless of whether it's kept secret, or regardless of whether it's illegal, I think it can still be considered an underground rave. I think the important aspect is that it is being put on by the community for the community. So with all of that in mind, if you're somebody who likes to walk to the beat of your own drum and reject the mainstream, if you're somebody who likes to be a thrill seeker, or if you're somebody who likes to simply connect with your local community, then underground raves just might be for you. Now back to the main video. Okay, so I know that this has all been some pretty basic 101 level shit. I'm establishing these definitions and making this video for a few reasons. The first, if you're brand new to the music scene and you've never really experienced these types of events before, I want to increase your music event literacy. And yes, that's a term that I made up. What I mean by that is when you read a music poster or you see a posting for an event online, I want you to be able to look at the description and understand what you might be getting yourself into so you can understand whether you'll be excited for it or not. Or whether you're having a conversation with your friends and you're talking about an event that might be coming up, you can be more conversational about it. Reason number 2 is for the veteran attendees who may be a little bit stuck in their ways. If you're somebody who's been going to the same shows and events for years now and are starting to feel bored, it could be time to change it up. Try out a different type of show, try out a different type of experience, or even check out a different genre. Now, this video is a very surface level, and frankly not very good, way of describing and defining the types of live music events. There are certainly types of events that I left out of this video, and there's definitely people on YouTube who can talk about this much better than I can. But the whole point is that there are so many different types of live music events, and they each have something unique to offer. I truly believe that just like genres of music, there is a live music event out there for each and every type of person. So if you've been to events before and you just haven't found yourself enjoying it, try a different one before you turn it down completely. And if you've never been to a live music event before, dude, what the hell are you waiting for? You never know which kind of event might be your favorite unless you got out and try it. So see what you like, see what you dislike, see what you can fall in love with, and most importantly, enjoy the music. Thanks for watching today's video. Follow along and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.